Hey everyone, welcome back to D&D Daily English. I'm Dan.
And I'm Daphne. Today we have a truly fascinating topic, one that takes us all the way to Japan, specifically to a place called Odawara.
Yeah, so Odawara is a town in Japan. It's about 50 miles or 80 kilometers from central Tokyo. And honestly, not many tourists know about it.
That's right. Most visitors to Japan follow what is called the Golden Route. That means they visit Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. These are very famous cities. But Odawara often gets skipped.
Which is a shame because Odawara has an amazing castle. And here's the cool part. Visitors can actually dress up as a samurai lord for the day. I mean, how awesome is that?
Quite impressive, yes. The experience is called Daimyo for a day. The word Daimyo, spelled D-A-I-M-Y-O, means a powerful lord or ruler in old Japan. Visitors put on real samurai armor and walk through the castle grounds.
So in the article, we meet a guy named Simon. He's from France. He came to Odawara as a regular tourist, just a normal visitor. But he got to feel like a lord of the castle. That's pretty wild.
Indeed. The costume process alone sounds quite elaborate. Visitors put on long white undershirts, then leggings, then metal guards on their legs, armored sleeves, and a chest plate, and of course the helmet, called a Kabuto.
Let's talk about some vocabulary here. The word armor, A-R-M-O-R, means protective clothing made of metal. Soldiers wore it in battles long ago. In American English, we spell it A-R-M-O-R.
And in British English, we spell it A-R-M-O-U-R with a U. Same word, slightly different spelling. This is actually quite common between American and British English.
Right, like color and color, or favorite and favorite. Anyway, back to the swords. Visitors were also given two swords. One long sword, called a katana, and one shorter sword, called a wakizashi.
The instructor apparently told the visitors that the shorter sword was only to be used in a very serious situation. He then said, quite humorously, that he hoped they would not need it during their visit.
Yeah, I'd hope so too. So, let's talk a little about the history of Odawara. The town has a very rich history. It was controlled by a powerful family called the Hojo clan. The word clan means a large, powerful family group.
The Hojo clan used Odawara Castle as their base of power for much of the 1500s. The castle was extremely strong. In fact, it was never successfully attacked in battle. That is quite remarkable for that era.
But then, in 1590, a very powerful leader named Toyotomi Hideyoshi came with an army of around 250,000 men. That's a huge number. He didn't attack directly. Instead, he laid siege to the city.
A siege, S-I-E-G-E, is when an army surrounds a place and stops food and supplies from getting in. Eventually, the people inside get very hungry and have to give up. That is exactly what happened to the Hojo clan.
So the castle was eventually destroyed, rebuilt, damaged by earthquakes, and destroyed again. It wasn't until 1960 that the main tower, called a dungeon, was rebuilt. Today, the castle park covers over 100 hectares.
The word restored is important here. R-E-S-T-O-R-E-D. It means fixed and returned to its original condition. Many parts of the castle have been restored, including walls, towers, and gates.
And the Japanese government is now actively trying to get more tourists to visit places like Odawara. After the pandemic, visitor numbers came back strongly. The government wants people to explore beyond the famous cities.
Odawara has been selected as one of the first towns to receive government support for tourism promotion. Local tourism officials are working hard to attract international visitors, and the Daimyo experience is clearly their headline offering.
One more word before we wrap up. Moat. M-O-A-T. A moat is a deep ditch filled with water around a castle. It made it very hard for enemies to get close. Odawara Castle actually has 2 moats.
And in the article, Simon and his friends crossed those moats in their full samurai costumes, were greeted by performers in warrior armor, and watched traditional music played on drums, a lute, and a flute. It sounds genuinely immersive.
I mean, think about it. You go to Japan, you put on real samurai armor, you walk across a real castle moat, and people in warrior costumes bow to you. That's not a typical Tuesday.
Quite. For our listeners, today's key vocabulary words were castle, tourist, armor, clan, daimyo, siege, fortress, bullet train, restored, and moat. Please review these and try to use them this week.
And if you ever get a chance to visit Japan, don't just take the bullet train straight through Odawara. Get off, put on some armor, and be a lord for a day. I would absolutely do that.
As would I, admittedly. It sounds like a wonderful way to connect with history. Thank you so much for listening to D&D Daily English. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, everyone. Keep learning. You're doing great.